2015 is The Witcher 3.
And this award is for all these 3 Witchers and all of your hard work. Thank you very much.
Our CEO.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, me too.
This is a special edition of Untitled cards. I really like it. Here are our offices. We have a huge wall with Witcher covers.
Choices, consequences. Well, there, plus you just...
Oh, perfect.
There is a personalized power.
We made that. We.
It's a little temple.
Intentionally, we want to make it a secret, but you saw it, so I just show you here. It's the top 1 score in our website, and these are some player comments. This one is our editor called Big Boss, 大力. And he said, Witcher 3 is a whole masterpiece to an amazing step, almost perfect.
So that's, which means please do
There are
better.
brilliant elements in it.
But he gave it a 10 in our review. He gave it a 10 in our review.
Can we take a picture of that?
Small size the one for you. And if you like it, you can take it back.
Of course we like
put it in front of it on your desk.
And then if you could send us the PDF of the covers.
Cool, no problem, no problem.
Yeah, let's sign it.
Yeah.
Just signature, yeah?
Yeah, just signature.
James Bond.
I want to take a picture of you holding this.
Okay.
It all started with a dream. I was playing a lot of games with my friend in high school. We were actually skipping classes together to play games. And right after high school, we decided that we want our future to be about games, all about games. That was most of our time. And we started importing games on CD-ROMs. So we were probably the first in Poland. I was one of the first people in Poland who had a CD-ROM reader. I paid a good couple $100 back then for it, and it was really a hell lot of money. All money I had and then some. And I bought it because I wanted to have access to the new revolutionary games, which are on CD-ROMs. So like moving from the floppy disk of like 1.4 megabyte to 500 megabytes CD-ROM, it was giving you totally new possibilities. I think there wasn't another revolution in gaming, in like giving people more content to play on a medium. So we started a company. Initially, we were very small. We were just importing games. And we were importing like 2 units per title, 3 units per title. And Michał was selling them at a computer market on the weekends. So that's how it all started. And step by step, bit by bit, we were building the company. So because everybody says CD Projekt, but we're a Polish company. So the proper pronunciation is CD Projekt. We are the first in Poland to fully localize games in Polish. What is important for gamers? Then trying to bring them that. At that moment in time, I really remember nobody believed that there's a market for legal games in Poland. It was all piracy. And we said, okay, but nobody really looks after gamers. So the games are too expensive. They are all in English. Why people should buy games like that? So first, we dropped the prices. We licensed the games to Poland. We did full Polish localizations. We started with smaller games, and then we made the biggest breakthrough on the big RPGs, because we are always huge fan of RPGs. So namely, the first big hit which really opened the market is Baldur's Gate. I still remember when we were forecasting the game, we signed a contract for 3,000 units. And Poland is not a huge country like China, but still 38 million people. And we are really afraid we'll not make it. If we'll not sell these 3,000 units, maybe we'll have to close the whole company. We prepared a really nice edition. There was a AD&D book with stories. There was a map on parchment of the Baldur's Gate lands. There was an audio soundtrack. So it was really like a collector's edition. And on the day one, we sold 18,000 units. And in the first year, we sold 50. An average game back then in Poland was selling 1, maybe 2,000 units. So suddenly, we convinced a lot of people in Poland that it's great to buy legal games. And that's how our story started. And actually, Baldur's Gate was great help to fund our development. It has taken us 8 years to get enough money to start development, but the idea was there from the very beginning. It's a very lengthy story, but I think it's very important to tell about our roots, because we started from distribution, but we're never good in distribution, honestly speaking, but we are always good in thinking about what we as gamers want and then trying to make it happen. Actually, 8 years from starting the company, we started working on The Witcher, a single-player, story-driven RPG. We first started for a year developing it outside of Warsaw, just a team of 5 people. Then we showed it to publishers around Europe. I still remember we had like 2 weeks of traveling with Michał. We had the most powerful computer, and we're showing it to the key guys. We already had contacts to them, and we had some relations with them because we were distributing their games in Poland. And then after these 2 weeks, we got probably 2 emails after 10 meetings saying that it's mama huhu. I mean, to put it lightly, it was written in a very nice, eloquent British way that we have to improve and so on and on, but really it meant that it's crap. So it was the first kick in the butt, so to speak. And then we moved the studio to Warsaw. We actually, because we had relation with BioWare, we were distributing their games. We licensed Aurora technology from them, and basing on that, then in approximately 4 years, we've built The Witcher. Really blood, sweat, and tears. And funnily enough, we as a gaming company, we knew what kind of game we want to do. We knew how to get it to the gamers, how to talk about it. The vision was very clear. We had a beautiful design doc. We had just one problem. We had no clue whatsoever how to make games. So it has taken us around 2 years just to learn how to set up the production and how to do things. But luckily enough, we had the funding from our distribution company. So we were taking pretty much all the money the distribution was generating and investing it all in the development. I'm running the company for over 20 years. Out of it, which is more than 12, like 13, 14, we do games development. And I have to say it was a very, very long road. Of course, the toughest moment was the first game, because I think there's a lot of people making games, but there's not that many people, equally many people that actually made a game. It's very difficult to close a project. So the first one was definitely the toughest. And also because we were coming with something new, and it was a very new and fresh idea. So it was mature storytelling with a one predefined character. We had a lot of discussions with publishers at that time with Witcher 1, and we were showing them a demo version. We're telling them that it's based on the series of books by Andrzej Sapkowski, that he sold millions of them. We even have some English translations. And then they were coming back to us and saying, but single-player mature RPGs, they don't sell. Why? Well, because there aren't any, so they are not selling. Or there is no multiplayer in your game, it will not sell. Or there's another one. I really like that. There is no multi-class selection, so it will not sell. But you're saying, hey guys, but wait, this game is based on books. There is a predefined, very strong character. We think the story is the most important part. We are always well prepared in terms of presentation, showing the vision of the game. I think it's very logical. You can see it in the game itself. They're coming back to us is, but what if a gamer wants to be an elfin female? So there is a running joke around the company, like, what would have happened if you would have agreed to make a multi-class? It totally wouldn't make sense, but these were the concepts that people from outside were coming up with. So for the first game, it was not only hard to finish it, but to get it to the market, because it took us approximately 2 years to find a publisher. Those days were very different to today, because you didn't have digital distribution, so you actually had to go with the boxes to retail. If you didn't have, like, you couldn't go to Steam or GOG or I don't know, to any of the Xbox Live or PSN platforms, nothing like this was there. You had to go through traditional channels. So ultimately, whether you want it or not, you had to talk to these guys and make a deal with them. I think it was the toughest. So really learned a lot. And then on The Witcher 2, we already decided, okay, we know more. We don't want to do publishing. We actually kept the IP rights. We kept the full creative control. So we had full control of a product. But still, they were deciding on how the game is launched, how they talk about it. It was their PR. So then we said, okay, we had a lot of difficult discussions. We think we know better how to do it. We are gamers. We want to talk to gamers directly. So with Witcher 2, we already did pretty much all over the world co-publishing or even self-publishing. And on Witcher 3, we went even further. And actually, I think, first of all, we managed to do great games, and we put a lot of effort to that. That's the core fundament, and the quality is the most important part. But then also, I think a very important element what we are doing is that we are ourselves getting the game to the market. We are ourselves talking to gamers and presenting them our game and listening to their feedback. There is no middleman. So I think that's also a big part of the Witcher 3 success. Nobody's telling what to do. We just travel around the world, we talk to gamers, we talk to media like you guys. We try to understand how the markets work, what gamers want, and then put it in front of them and listen to their feedback, because maybe they don't like something that we are doing, and then we try to correct it. And you know, funnily enough, people say, hey, gamers are different all around the world. No, they are very similar. They just like great games. They don't like bullshit. And when they don't like when people are lying to them, or telling them, over-promising that a certain game will be great, and then it arrives and it's not good, or it's crap actually. That's what they don't like. I think with this aspect, gamers are different. Okay, they might vary in taste, but if a game is great, and I think Witcher 3 is a good testament to that, they love it all around the world in the same way, and they really like very similar elements.
Maybe honesty and hard working is basic ways to your success.
I think, of course, we are trying to make each subsequent game we're working on better. We are also trying to be very self-critical, and then in order to achieve and deliver on our ambitions, we have to be very hardworking. So actually the team is working sometimes day and night to make it happen. I think it's important, and it's always like a step-by-step attitude. So, you know, there is a saying in English, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
I twist it always and I say Novigrad wasn't built in a day. When we were getting the award for the best game at the Video Game Awards in Los Angeles, one of the most prestigious achievements, especially for a company coming from Poland. You know, I think we're not an American studio, we're not a British studio, we're coming from Poland, we don't have a history of making the best games in the world. I think it's amazing. It's really empowering us. And what I was telling there on the stage is that this is really not the award for Witcher 3. It's award for all these 3 Witchers. It's the award for 12 years of hard work, because Witcher 3 wouldn't happen without Witcher 2 and without Witcher 1. And in each of these games, I think if you play all them, you see how we evolve, how the storytelling evolves, and how we deliver new mechanics and new stuff. And also how we learn to, I think, make the immersion for the gamer smoother. Because also this is where we put a lot of attention, like that when you start playing a game like Witcher 3, you really don't think, wow, it's so complex, there's so many elements. It just teaches you step by step, bit by bit, because it's all about having fun in the game and not, you know, fighting with, I don't know, the clunky interface or too much information. I think it's also important to be able to talk to gamers directly, because there is many cases, you know, when there is publisher, and I'm not taking that publisher is an evil thing, no, but if there is too many middlemen and the developer is somewhere far away, disconnected, they really lose touch with the reality. Who's their core audience? Like, and then maybe they don't get the feedback, or maybe they get the feedback and the business partner they have is saying, no, but we'll not invest money into, I don't know, making a patch or upgrading. It makes no sense. I think we as gamers don't see this from outside that much, but from knowing how it works, how the industry works, I think this is quite often a problem. That sometimes I would say a financial decision really takes away the heart of the game, or actually is not allowing to make it better, because people think, like the constant problem in our industry, games are shipped too soon, yeah? And some, like, let's say you work on a game for 4 years, like we did on The Witcher 3, and then we moved actually the release date twice, and it was a very tough moment for us, very stressful. We don't take it lightly. It's not like, hey, we can move it just because we can find it. No, we promise to the gamers that we'll deliver the game, and we have to break our promise. But if we wouldn't do that, the game wouldn't be finished, it wouldn't be polished. And a lot of big companies out there, they have the end of the financials and they just ship the game. And then people say like, what's that? And I think that's crazy because it's really not fair both to the gamers and the developers that spend years on this game. So, but I'm going too deep into, you know, like industry problems here. I've been to China probably around 10 times already. And actually, I was living in Taiwan for like 5 months. I'm learning Chinese for quite some time already. 我学中文，可是中文是一点难，特别的对外国人。I think, you know, the mainland China gaming market is very well developed, but is developed in a very different way in comparison to where I come from. So Eastern Europe, Western Europe, or if you look like the markets with US are quite similar. And I think the trend which we consider the mainstream, which is the console gaming, and the big AAA gaming is just coming to China. So it is very interesting to observe. We had a lot of fans on The Witcher 3. This is great because for a developer from Poland or anywhere in Europe, I think I can safely say that there is always an image like, wow, but these gamers here are so different. They play different games. No, as I mentioned before, they like great games, and I think Witcher 3 and its popularity is the best proof for that. When there is a good story told, it doesn't matter if it's told by Polish guys and it touches the Polish myths and legends and fairy tales. I think it's very universal. I think gamers are very similar. However, the gaming consumption is different. So obviously the mobile platforms are way bigger here and more popular and way massive. But you know, I think step by step, and then the console revolution will also come to China. And it's great to see that both platforms are launched and the install base is growing. GOG.com is DRM free, so there is no copy protection. You download the game and you can do with it whatever you want. We deeply believe that the biggest value is to positively motivate and convince gamer to buy your game and not to protect the access to the game. I mean, first and foremost, DRM is not really working. And the best proof of that is piracy, and that almost every single game is pirated in no time. We came up with GOG already 8 years ago, and starting from Witcher 2, where we already had the publishing control, because on Witcher 1 we didn't, we released it without copy protection. And I think fans really appreciated it, that there is no restriction, that we trust them. And of course the game is pirated, but whether we protect it or not, it's pirated anyway. And here we can really create, I believe, like a very positive vibe and positive movement. So if you look at Witcher 3, what we have actually done, we've released the 16 free DLC, and we did it not as a pre-calculated move. We just thought, hey, it will be really cool to give something to gamers. They go and buy our game. It's not cheap. It costs $60 in the full price. And then every week they'll get 2 DLCs for free as a part of a program, and they'll have additional fun with the game. Honestly speaking, to our big surprise, in the Western media, there was a gigantic PR boom around that. Wow, that's so cool, that's so unexpected. Why other people are not doing that? And actually, some sites were even starting to talk that maybe we are starting to set a new precedent, maybe new fashion, maybe other people will follow us. So, of course, it got us a lot of traction and buzz. Gamers were really happy. Funnily enough, some of them were suspicious, because I was reading carefully all the forums, some were like, they give it for free, but what's the hook? What's the catch here? I was like, hey guys, there is no catch. This was met with great reception. Unfortunately, not many people followed us and copied our model, sadly. This was part of our thinking to encourage people in a positive way, why it's worth to buy the game. Because if you buy the game, you get these free DLCs. Of course, you can find pirated versions of them. You spend hundreds of hours in our game. Why do you have a pirated copy? If it's the game you really invest weeks of your life in, is it okay to play it pirated? I mean, I wouldn't feel good about it, yeah? And then look, if you were buying the physical copy, we've put a lot of we put a game guide, we had a soundtrack, and we had a lot of stuff like in the box to make sure that you don't want to trade it back or, I don't know, sell it somewhere on or eBay or Taobao, you know, once you finish playing it. I think in the long term this works, and then what we see is incredible fan support on forums, and there is a guy writing like on a Witcher thread, there is a Witcher news story, and there's like, hey, where can I download Witcher for free? And then there are people coming, hey, this is the one company you don't pirate from, get away from here. They're bashing this guy, and that's great. And then there's a lot of comments of people saying, this company is really fair, they never against people who cannot afford the game, I actually couldn't, I pirated, but now I have money, so I bought the legit copy. Maybe they bought it in mid price, maybe they bought it in budget, but they still bought a legit copy because they love the game. So I think building the incentive, let's call it the carrot, is much better than the stick, and that's pretty much what we're doing. Exactly, I think, and at the other end of the scale, you would have a game which is really bad, and people are forced to play it, you know? And they have to pay on it for it on top of that. So I think it's really all about the value. If you look like at the well-developed free-to-play model here, of course it is present in Western Europe. It's more and more popular, but China, it's really the home of that. Here you can look like how the game works, why people want to pay. They don't have to pay. So sometimes the game is forcing people to play, but sometimes it's so engaging and it's giving you so much that you want to pay. And I think this is the best model to follow. We really wanted to make it very clear. If it's a small piece of content like DLC, it's free. Because frankly speaking, it costs us almost nothing to produce. But if we spend months on developing a new AAA quality, I don't know, 10 hours like in case of Hearts of Stone, or 30 hours like in case of Blood and Wine, really we'll put a price tag on it and we'll ask gamers to pay for it. But we put our seal of quality on it, and actually a lot of people bought it. I mean, both add-ons, I mean, were greatly reviewed, and they were commercially very, very successful. I think that this just proves the point. And then if you look at games, if it's short, meaningless, honestly speaking, why buy it? It's like, I don't know, let's say you go over to a friend's house and there is a book and you start reading it, and it's kind of boring. You don't buy it, yeah? I think it's a little bit like that. And then there are some games which you really have to have, and these are the best games, yeah? It's like if you're a real gamer, you should have them on the shelves. It's like a point of pride. One thing clear, we are not a charity organization. It is a viable business model, and it works because I think we give value and then people are happy to pay for it. I think there is no better deal, you know, when you buy something and you're happy with it. That's how I like to buy things, and that's how I value the things the most. GOG is still small comparing to Steam, but it goes very well, and again, it's very much the same philosophy which we have with developing games, so it's giving value. With GOG, it's DRM free, so it's total freedom. It's very user-friendly. You download the game, you own it. Also, as we started with the older games, we've put back to life a lot of classics. So that was the start of the catalog. We are adding newer and newer games. Like for example, we are just releasing all the latest Telltale games. Also, one more difference, which we have a lot of the indie stuff as well. Put a lot of additional materials, and we really want people to feel that they're buying sort of a collector's edition. There is still no Chinese version, but maybe in future we'll have one. It's for gamers. We are never forcing you to use the client. You can use it. So very much the philosophy of the carrot and not really the stick, that you have to install something or you won't be able to play it. It's never like that. You can still download The Witcher 3 from the website as one file and install it if you are the old school hardcore user. So, but at the same time we have the whole client all about games, gaming, and we are pre-selecting the games, so trying to offer what we think is valuable for the gamers. We are not accepting everything on the platform. I encourage Chinese gamers to give it a try, and hopefully one day we'll be able to offer a Chinese version with a lot of Chinese content. It'll be great.
Because I'm a TCG gamer, I play Witcher 3, I feel like I collect cards like TCG, and it truly worked. But how gamers collect cards in new game design? Can you tell me something about that?
I think I cannot tell you much more than we talked at E3, because we are right now working on a lot of elements and preparing for the closed beta version, which will be launching quite soon. Differences between Gwent in The Witcher 3 and Gwent as a standalone game. So first and foremost, we are doing it because we get incredible feedback from fans, and they sort of even I mean ask us for it in a way, maybe forced us to do it. Because it was so popular, and we saw a lot of feedback of people who actually spend more time in Gwent, which happens to be a small game in a tavern in a 200-hour long RPG. We had around 40 versions, fan-made versions, which were kindly asking them to take down. We couldn't tell them that we are working on Gwent because we didn't want to announce it before we have something to show, so we are preparing for the last E3. And it's very much, I think, what is there, what is similar, it's the logic. It's a battle of two armies, it's the best of three. There are same fractions. The gaming will be way more dynamic, beautifully looking visually, and first and foremost it will be focused on PvP. So if you look at The Witcher, it's very much a single player game which you can beat fairly quickly, and if you have the best deck you always win. So there is an end game to it, yeah? But that's the nature of a mini game in an RPG game. And I think what was coolest about it, at least for me, was the fact that you had all this tiny and even bigger sub-quest within the game, and it was adding additional flavor. Because I wasn't maybe a huge fan of the fist fighting in Witcher 3, which was nice, but Gwent was the deep thing, yeah? Suddenly you go into a tavern, or actually you meet a merchant somewhere in the forest, and he has a unique card which you want to have. So for me, this is the most engaging part of an RPG game, which is the exploration, that I'm surprised with something, there's something unexpected, or I have to look for something, and and it's something cool. And this something cool adds sort of the flavor to the gameplay. Then in Tavern you can rank up in the competitions, win the main tournament, and I think it's really cool. But that's a very single player. At a certain point when you have a strong deck, that's pretty much over. In the Gwent, the standalone one, it's all about PvP, so it's deck building. We've spent a lot of time on the deck builder, pretty much build the whole card deck, the board from ground up. So we want people to get the same feeling of a Witcher AAA quality, but Gwent standing on its own legs. So we want them to be blown away. It's coming to PC, it's coming to consoles, so we really want people, like if they play on the bigger screens, like to say, wow, it looks so great. There will be premium cards as well. It will be free to play, so there will be some card packs, mechanics. We are not talking about it yet, but I think what is important to stress here, comparing to other TCGs, there will be the strong single player element. So for all those who actually are coming from the single player world, like I do, for example, from the RPGs, let's call them expansions, with a story mode. Of course you'll be collecting cards, and the way you'll be fighting through it will be card battles, but we will be telling you a story of side characters from the Witcher world. I think that this is really, really important. So in other card games, quite often, like if there is a story mode, it's a very simple linear thing. We are known for good storytelling, and I promise gamers will not disappoint them.
Will Gwent be available on mobile devices?
That's a great idea. I will communicate it back to the team. But first let us focus on what we have on our plate, because it's PC and consoles, and that's a lot of work. And if there will be something new coming, we'll definitely tell you about it. Okay, whenever we are talking to partners in different countries, and actually for The Witcher 3 we have partners all around the world. We have more than 10 partners or 12 partners. We always look for people who share the passion for games. We look for people who believe in the game and they're really excited. And in our opinion, Gaia was a really great pick. So they think very similarly to us. They were crazy and very motivated to do something big with Gwent. So we share this vision, we share the belief. That's the reason for our picks. We believe, you have to go for the biggest player on the market. Maybe the biggest player has already too many things on their plate. We also believe, Gaia will be very focused on our title. It's a big thing for them, and it also is for us, for the Chinese market. So really excited to be working with them.
And so another two questions that will end. The first is, will there be another Witcher game in the future? Another Witcher game. I think the third one is really a good ending. I thought it's very, very good. But will there be another?
I think we are not working on anything. We clearly said we are not planning anything. But the world of The Witcher has great stories to be told still. So maybe in the future, yes, there's nothing right now. And I think also what is important, and this is a statement also both from a gamer and a fan of TV series and books, that there is always a good moment to end things. And I think we've been seeing in games a lot of series which sort of cannot end. And at a certain point it ends badly for this series, so we definitely wouldn't like to do that. And Witcher 3 is closing the trilogy, then with the expansion, and it's really the Witcher should rest. Witcher should rest. Let's let it rest. I think, having said that, the Witcher lore and the Witcher world for all the fans will live in Gwent. And I think for all the Witcher fans, I will definitely encourage them, to sign up for the beta version. Then we'll be announcing a specific Chinese beta version as well. So we would love to hear Chinese gamers' feedback and see how they like it. And they will really see a lot of the characters from the Witcher games, from the Witcher world. So and then with the story expansions, which we'll have for the game, I think it will be another thing which will be sort of giving them the Witcher flavor. No, we're not planning. We're not planning any remakes. I think, it's we've been asked this question many times, and we would love that. As gamers, we would love that. But if we'll do remakes, we'll not do other games. What I want to say also, I think we really want to move forward. And the way we were telling stories, the mechanics, it was good for The Witcher 1, but redoing it right now, I think, let's leave it what it is. I think people can play it on PC, on Mac as well. So. Sorry, I cannot talk about it. And whenever actually I say something, then I see headlines all around the world that I said that it will be big or it will have this or that. I think we've already showed the CGI trailer. We know that people are really looking forward to it. So right now, when we'll be ready, we'll just show the game, because it's not about us talking, but about people getting excited about the real game. So I think this is the point to end about Cyberpunk, actually. Okay. And do not think too much right now about Cyberpunk. If you really, guys, have nothing to do, replay Witcher, New Game Plus, go through the expansions, and then spend the rest of the time playing Gwent. That's kind of simple. I think, I have a full offering for you. Yeah. And when we'll be ready, we'll tell you about Cyberpunk, and then you'll be hopefully even more excited about it.
Cool. That's pretty cool. Really looking forward to Cyberpunk.
Yeah, cool.
She read a lot of novels based on some Cyberpunk. Yeah,
well, like Philip K. Dick and Gibson,
Duke Zero, I don't know whether the name is right, so that's it. So do you have anything to say to Chinese gamers, because there are a lot of Chinese fans?
Actually, I would like to thank them for the support. Part of the reasons why I'm here planning to launch Gwent is the extreme support we got from you guys, and we didn't expect so much. So thanks a lot. Thanks for the voice of encouragement. Keep on playing our games, and definitely get in touch. Let us know how you like them, what you don't like them. I hope you like it. And again, I will be launching a dedicated Chinese closed beta version. The gameplay will be across the world, so we'll be able to play with people from other countries. There will be no cutoff of China or anything like that. I cannot still tell specifically when this will happen, but before that we'll definitely let you know. And then we would like to encourage you to enroll, give it a go, and let us know your thoughts, because beta will be the most important moment when we'll be testing the game and balancing and doing all this stuff, and your feedback is very valuable to us. So thank you very much for supporting us, and I hope you will keep on enjoying playing our games. Thanks a lot.
These scars long have yearned for your tender caress, to bind our fortunes. Damn what the stars on and my heart, oh,